Another important aspect of the respect for the dead that takes place after a person has passed on is known as the levaya, or the levaya, the funeral service and the escorting, literally, of the body to its final resting place. Now, if one is at a funeral home and the eulogies have been said and the service is finished, even if you're not going to the cemetery for the burial, it is traditionally asked that you accompany the deceased a little bit along the way. That is to say, that you walk following the casket, or you walk after the hearse, just a little distance, even if you're not going to the cemetery, to fulfill this important mitzvah of escorting the one who has passed on. When one reaches the cemetery with the entourage that has no doubt come, the pallbearers take the body from the hearse. When this is done, the body is always moved in such a way throughout the entire process we are speaking of, where the feet are always facing toward the front, as if the person were walking. Again, even to that degree, we want to treat the person appropriately who has passed away. During this time of going from the hearse to the actual burial place, it is customary to recite Psalm 91, and during that time, the rabbi will instruct those who are carrying the casket to make a certain amount of stops. Some make 7, some make 3 stops. There are various reasons for this, which we can't go into now, but that is traditionally done. It is not done on holidays, on days when you would have a burial, let's say Chol HaMoed or Hanukkah or Purim. We said you couldn't have eulogies. On those days also you do not have these traditional stops that take place. When one reaches the grave, if the eulogies are not done there and were previously done, then the body is lowered into the ground. Now, at this time when the body is lowered into the ground, Jewish tradition has it, and I often instruct the mourners that this is their last opportunity, we indicate, to say something to the deceased, to ask for forgiveness from the deceased. And often that's some of the deepest thoughts and feelings that one expresses is at that particular point in the service. I should also indicate that the most significant aspect of what's taking place here is the burial. The Torah obligates us to bury the person. And thereby I always announce at every funeral, unlike what many of you have seen or heard, that the burial should be done not by people who happen to work in a cemetery, but by people who knew the deceased, people who knew him or her in life and in illness and good health. This is the last act of loving kindness that will ever be done for this individual. It should be done by people who cared about him, not by people who he or she did not know. And I often do funerals for people who are not observant, and I invite everyone to come forward and to take part in this ritual of the burial. Everything should be done to the degree possible by the rabbi and by those who are there. If need be, hopefully it can be done with everyone participating in putting dirt on the body, on the casket, with the use of many shovels that are there. If that can't be done, in my cemeteries, where often we have small funerals, we use a backhoe to move the dirt forward to make it easier for people to do this. I guarantee you that anyone who participates in this ritual will feel good about it, will feel that I helped the family, will feel that this is a beautiful, if unfortunate, moment of closure, where I know I have done everything that I possibly could do. I didn't leave something unfinished when I left the cemetery. We thereby complete the whole burial. The entire grave is filled in. And this is considered to be a great act of kavod of mate, of respect for the individual. Thereafter, Kaddish is said, and the Kal Malay Rachamim, the memorial prayer, if it wasn't said as well, the memorial prayer at the funeral. And those in attendance then form 2 lines through which the mourners will pass. And as they pass through 2 lines where they are facing each other, the mourners pass through and everyone says to them, Hamakom Yenachem Etchem B'toch shar evlei Tzion v'Yushalayim. May God comfort you with all those who mourn for Zion and Jerusalem. And the message is, again, that in a sense we are all mourners on a national level for the destruction of the Jerusalem that took place many years ago. You are not alone. You are not isolated. We are with you, and God is still with you, and God still cares about you as you at this point leave your deceased relatives and go forward from the cemetery to continue with life. I'm Rabbi Balk, your rabbinic advisor on eshiva.com.